Hey guys, what's up? Dingocrikey here with another figure review, and this time we're going to be looking at Transformers Animated Voyager class Cybertron mode Megatron. This figure was originally released in June of 2008 in the line's first Voyager wave for the price of $19.99, and this review was requested by user Gary the Neutral, so thanks for the request. And here you can see we have Megatron in his alternate mode, which is a Cybertronian vehicle of some sorts, though a lot of people disagree about, what's the proper orientation of it. Now, the official Hasbro stock photography does show this as being the front of the vehicle. I guess this is supposed to kind of look like a cockpit, though being it Cybertronian, that's, most likely it doesn't serve that function. And it kind of has the backwards wings, as we also seen with Starscream. But some people see this as being the front, despite the way Hasbro poses him, as we would have this kind of being the front point of the jet and get situated there, and we then would have this cannon being functional and the wings kind of in a proper orientation. I do think I prefer the vehicle mode being this way, but it really is a matter of preference in my opinion when it comes to this guy. In any case, here we have the vehicle from its technical front. Here is it from the side. There's the back, the other side, the bottom, and there he is from the top. As far as colors go, this guy has a few only, but they're spread out pretty well. As we can see, he has this really light gray color, and it may look white on camera, but I will assure you that is actually a very, very light gray. You can also see he has a whole lot of black, a little bit of silver in these areas, kind of on these circles too, and then we have a translucent red all throughout. Now, as far as any kibble, or as I put it, bad bits, this guy, I would argue, has quite a few, though it's a little bit more subjective. For one, you can see right here, we can see that's clearly his arm just kind of curled up. You can even see his hands as well. There's also a good amount of gappiness from this angle. Also, even from the bottom, you do have a little bit, though, it's not as bad from the bottom or the top. Now, there are some things, such as these are actually the robot feet, and the way they stick out, if you know they're the robot feet, they look pretty obvious, but you can't just look at them as an aesthetic part of the vehicle. I find some of the kibble kind of works in that way. It's really a preference thing, but he does have problems with gappiness. With saying that, the vehicle mode does hold together pretty well. If you bend it, you can get a little bit of movement in there. You can't have the cannon come out of place, but it is locked in there, and everything's locked in pretty well. It also feels very, very durable. Like, if you're one of those people who doesn't like hollow formers, you probably wouldn't have a problem with this guy's vehicle mode in that regard. As far as features and accessories, we do have landing gear down here. You can see these two little wheels, but if you get your thumb right on there, and you should be able to, there we go, flip out that landing gear, and it is functional. The wheels will kind of roll him along. You can even push it and they'll roll a little bit, so that's pretty nice. Flip that in for right now. And we do obviously also have this firing missile. Just push on the trigger. There you go. Doesn't have a ton of kick to it, but nevertheless, it's a firing missile. Kind of a cool feature. So here we have Megatron with two other animated figures, Voyager class Lugnut and Deluxe class Bumblebee. Here he is with two Combiner Wars figures, Voyager class Silverbolt and Deluxe class Firefly. Here he is with two other Megatron figures, one from the movie 2007 toy line and the other from the Transformers Prime toy line, and both are Voyager class figures as well. So let's get into this guy's transformation. And the first thing we want to do is make sure this landing gear is flipped in, and then we can take this cannon up here, unpeg it, and we're going to move it to the side. So now the arms are freed up. Can straighten those out at the elbow, and let's leave them connected for now just so they don't flop around and get in the way when we're dealing with the rest of the body. Now we want to loosen these legs from the pegs here, and the body will flop down like so. So next we want to separate the legs up here, and while we're dealing with these pointy pieces, just get them situated in their robot mode orientation. Now bend these legs at the knees, rotate them that way, and we'll do the same with the other one. Bring it down, rotate, take these pieces, the wings, fold them inwards so we get a nice clicking noise too. Bring the feet forward, flip out the heels and kind of just situate them however you like. Peg the chest into the lower body right there. And now we can take the arms to separate them. And as we pull the arms back, you'll see there's this really cool automorph feature where the head will pop out. You gotta push it the rest of the way, but nevertheless pretty cool, and the chest will close. So bring the arms down and kind of just situate them. And like I said, work with the feet however you like. And there we have Megatron in his robot mode. So let's bring this guy in for a closer look, and first do a quick body scroll. You can see the legs, the waist, torso, and bring the light in here and give you a good look at the head sculpt too. So there he is from the front, the side, the back, the other side, the bottom, and there's the top of the figure. As far as the color scheme goes, I think it's pretty much the same, just a bit of a different distribution. We still have a lot of that light gray that looks almost white. We have the black, translucent red spread all throughout, but now we have the addition of gold on the symbol, and then you can see he has a light gray, a different shade of it on the face as well. As far as details go, we'll start off with the face, as there are a few things to talk about. For one, we can see his expression is pretty unique, which was something we've seen a lot of in the animated line. There are just a lot of layers to his head sculpt in general, and by that I mean we have a lot of stuff molded separately, as for example, kind of like this crevice on his forehead is protruding from the rest of his head. The mouth kind of sinks in, and it just gives him a kind of cool look to him. You can also see from the side there, the head does kind of slant back. I believe that's another movie inspiration. And bring the lamp over here so you can get an idea of how the light piping works. Pretty cool there as well, though it will kind of light up the whole head because of the way the plastic is. Speaking of movie influence, I've always seen this figure as having some movie influence in just the overall design, especially in the shoulder area, kind of the body area, you know, with the spiky look to it, kind of the shape. Then even in the legs, we kind of got it getting bigger towards the feet. You can also see the hands here are interesting because not only are they non-fisted hands and they have 2 layers of colors, but they also are translucent in the fingers, which is kind of cool in my opinion. As far as articulation goes, this guy can be a little bit of a pain, so let's try to do our best here. Bring his arms up, and first look at the upper legs. They are on a hinge, therefore they can go out. You can bring them forward like that, and they do have a swivel up here as well, though it's painfully tight, and as you can see, it does get in the way of the waist a little bit, or should I say the waist gets in the way a little bit, so you can't bring it all the right way around, but at least for me it's a little bit not really worth the effort anyways. Here we can rotate it at the knee all of the way around, bring the knees back, don't go forward at all, and now we're at the arms. Hopefully things will go better here. Go all of the way around, bring them out, inwards, have a nice clicking joint there. Then at the elbow, can turn all of the way around. And we have 2 hinges at the elbow too, so you can bring it forward, you can bring it backwards there a little bit. And this one, the lower one, can go about 90 degrees. And a lot of click joints in there. Then in the head sculpt, we do have a full 360 motion technically, but because of the way the chest is constructed, it can be a little bit difficult to get that motion. I don't really like doing it because I don't want to scratch up these bottom spikes on the head. And one more thing I forgot to mention is that the waist can go back and forth a little bit, and that's another thing where it can technically do a 360 motion, but you might risk scratching the plastic, and personally I don't really want to do that. And one more thing, we do have some wrist swivel here as well. Let's get into the accessories and the features, which pretty much consist of everything in this cannon. First up, as we've seen in alternate mode, we do have a firing missile here. And just pull that trigger, and the missile will fire. However, in robot mode, we have an additional feature. If you're to bend this cannon outwards like so, and take this piece As you can see, it has those little two pegs. Gotta get them out of the way of the blades. Now we take this blade, flip it down, and we have a pretty cool automorph feature. And I guess now he has a sword. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. As you can see, it's translucent plastic. This sword is rubbery, though it's quite tough rubber. It actually feels pretty nice. As far as kibble and bad bits go, one of the most glaring things is obviously this oversized cannon. Now, some people may like the aesthetic of this, but nevertheless, it is kind of attached in I would say, a strange way, where it can't really lock into any position, just kind of dangles off of the arm there. It obviously is quite huge in comparison to his arm, or really in proportion to the rest of the figure. This may be a personal thing. I don't like the way this sword feature works, mainly because I don't see it as having any practical function. I mean, I know it's an action figure, but usually their little features, whether the weapons, all that kind of stuff, do simulate something, and I can't really see this working in any way. That might be a little bit more of a personal complaint, though. Anyways, let's just fold up this sword right now. And can even see there, just with the way this is positioned, can be hard to use the features of the figure. But yeah, it's just, it's very large. There's really no way to hide it. And it's kind of hard to position. Another thing that may be considered a con is that his upper legs are so tiny. So really can make articulation look a little bit less convincing. Might be another personal pet peeve type of thing. But also, not only does he have the small upper legs, but he has these knee guards, which basically make them look non-existent. And these knee guards, also, once you get into posing a little bit, can be a little bit awkward in regards to how exactly they're supposed to be positioned. The other things may be down to preference, but I do think you could definitely consider the cannon to be kibble. We also do have some other things, such as the wobbliness of the figure. Sometimes when you're posing it, the chest can kind of come out of place and such, but I think that pretty much sums it up. So here we have Megatron compared with some other Transformers animated figures. From left to right, we have Deluxe Class Bumblebee, Deluxe Class Cybertron Mode Optimus Prime, Voyager Class Blitzwing, and Voyager Class Lugnut. Here we have him compared with some other Megatron figures. From left to right, we have Revenge of the Fallen, Leader Class Megatron, Prime Beast Hunters, Sharkticon Megatron, and Movie 2007 Voyager Class Megatron. And here he is with two Combiner Wars figures, Voyager Class Battlecore Optimus, and Deluxe Class Firefly. So final thoughts. Now just for my personal opinions, I don't really like this figure in either mode. In the vehicle mode, it does have an interesting design, but suffers from visible robot bits and the whole unclear orientation problem, though probably doesn't bother me as much as it might bother some other people. Nevertheless, the vehicle mode does hold together fairly well, and to be fair, I don't think it's the worst Cybertronian vehicle mode we've ever had. The robot mode is where everything goes wrong, in my personal opinion. Almost every problem can be traced back to the cannon. It ruins the look, it doesn't look that good on its own even, the sword feature is useless, the cannon is enormous, and while it doesn't weigh down the arm due to click joints and stuff, which is a pro to the figure, it does affect overall posing and really what you can do with him. Even pushing the cannon aside figuratively, I still find the figure to be a little bit unredeemable, mainly due to the leg design. The way those knee guards get in the way, just how short the upper legs are, that alone really gets in the way of posability, even if he didn't have the cannon on the arm, or like a smaller detachable cannon. Just the way his whole legs are constructed, how massive the lower legs are in proportion, doesn't make for some good articulation in there. Now, as far as the color scheme goes, I love the colors on this guy. You know, black's always cool to see. The really light gray looks nice with the black, and then the translucent red just kind of, it really gives him that evil look, and the fact that it's translucent is just the cherry on top. So now as far as recommendations, being that personally I don't like this figure, I wouldn't recommend him to too many people. While this is the only Megatron I own from the line, I suspect that at least the Leader Megatron is a much better figure than this one, and I would recommend watching reviews of the other figures. Anyways, in regards to show scale, the Leader Megatron is probably much closer, especially if you have the Voyager Optimus Prime. But if you want a Cybertronian Megatron, as, you know, he did have that form in the beginning of the show, I mean, you could buy him, but unless you're a completist, I personally would not recommend this figure. Now, if you're just a general collector looking to go back and buy some animated figures, I wouldn't recommend getting this guy. I think he'll give you a bad impression of what the animated line was like, and there really were a few diamonds in the line, so you could probably pick up some better figures such as Blur or Shockwave. Ultimately though, I hope this review just helped you get a good idea of the figure. I mean, I gave my opinions, but you could totally disagree with them. You could really like the looks of the figure, and you know, that's totally cool. If you watched this review and decided you really liked him, then I'd say maybe give him a purchase, though I do warn you, once you get him in hand, that cannon is pretty annoying. Anyways, you can share your thoughts on this figure through the comment section below and through this video's poll. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Transformers animated and other Transformers figure reviews. That's all for now though. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and have a good one guys. I'll see you soon.